It's 5:36. I'm Emily Vukovic filling in for Rachel Schutz, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. We have got another beautiful day ahead of us. Hopefully you loved the weekend weather. Was that not just spectacular? The humidity was there, but not really. Certainly wasn't as oppressive as it was last week. And temperatures into the low 30s. It was gorgeous. Well, we've got another day like that, but the humidity is going to be rising. Right now we're sitting at 18 degrees through Toronto. We're at Billy Bishop 19, Pearson 16 degrees, and up through Markham we're looking at 16 degrees. All right, we're going to be taking a look at your full forecast details in just a moment, but why not stay on the trend of summer and take a look at the top 5 beach towns. All right, taking a look at the forecast right across the country, we are going to be seeing sunshine to our west and sunshine to our east with a little bit of active weather in between. We do have this cold front that's going to be moving through northern Ontario, but by the time it gets to us throughout southern Ontario, it's going to be, well, dried up. Let's just put it that way. It's not going to be bringing us a lot of moisture. Temperatures this afternoon, they're hot. We're looking at 32, feeling like 36 through Toronto. It's going to feel like 37 in Hamilton. It'll feel like 35 in Barrie and feeling closer to 36 through Whitby. Now, keep in mind, it is going to be fairly gusty. We're going to see wind gusts anywhere between 30 to 40 kilometers an hour today and even into tomorrow, higher if you're up towards cottage country along the shores of Lake Huron. So here's that cold front bringing in active weather to our north, Sault Ste. Marie, all the way over towards Timmins. And then, as you can see, it fizzles out as it gets down towards the lower Great Lakes, and then high pressure moves back in again. So we are going to continue to see more sunshine throughout the day tomorrow. We do not have a lot of active weather to talk about coming up this week. We've got sunshine and warmth. But what we do have coming up is a homemade air conditioner. We'll take a look at that in trending after your local forecast. Your Weather Watch continues on this Monday. It is July the 9th. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks so much for joining us. Taking a look right across the country, there's really not a lot going on except for this cold front. It is going to be bringing in some thunderstorms and some rain throughout northern Ontario, but it's really not going to be doing anything by the time it gets to the south. Hot, humid conditions are what we're going to be dealing with today throughout the lower Great Lakes, and I'll get to all those details in just a few moments. But first, here's what's hot online. Thanks, Amanda. It's true. You're riding along innocently and then you're just covered in bugs. Ugh, no thanks. All right. Heat to start the week. It is going to be another hot and sticky day today throughout southern Ontario. Temperatures into the low 30s in some cases, feeling more like the upper 30s when you factor in the humidity. So if you love the heat and humidity, like I do, today's a good day for you. We're looking at 36 is what it's going to feel like for the city of Toronto. It's going to feel like 35 through Barrie, feeling like 38 down towards Windsor. It's even hot to the east. Look at the Maritime provinces. Moncton's going to feel like 34. All right, now apparently this is a thing this year. I don't play baseball. My kids don't play baseball yet, so I haven't seen anything like this, but a dust NATO. Sunset looks beautiful. It's gorgeous. All right, lots of beautiful sunrises and sunsets today because we have a lack of active weather. We're going to be seeing lots of sunshine. This cold front bringing in rain and the potential for thunderstorms through Sault Ste. Marie, up through Timmins and in through Val d'Or. Quebec may see this, but it looks as though it's going to fizzle out for the most part. And then by the time it gets down towards the lower Great Lakes through the overnight and throughout the day tomorrow, it's not doing anything to our weather. It's really just going to fizzle out, and we are going to be seeing another bit of high pressure move into the region. So we are going to be seeing, again, lots of sunshine throughout the day tomorrow, lots of sunshine throughout the day on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We are looking at a really good week. I actually just tweeted out a picture of our 7-day forecast. Check it out at EmilyTWN. And I said, if you're on vacation this week, you really lucked out because we've got this ridge. It's building. It's going to be gorgeous again tomorrow, 28, feeling like 32. So that cold front will drop our temperatures just slightly, but for the most part, it is going to be staying hot and sunny all week long. Your local forecast details start right now. Your Weather Watch continues on this Monday. It's July the 9th. I'm Emily Vukovic in for Rachel Schutz, and thanks so much for joining us. Taking a look at right across the country where we've got a ton of high pressure, a lot of heat, the humidity starting to build back in through areas, but we do have this cold front bringing in some thunderstorms through parts of northern Ontario. And I was just checking out the Ontario fire bans. Places like Timmins and Sudbury, well, they're getting higher because the lack of rainfall and this cold front coming through with the lightning, that could actually provide quite a risk and fuel for some forest fires. So keep that in mind. Cottage Country as well. If you're planning on heading up there, you might want to check the Ontario fire restrictions. National temperature pattern, lots of oranges, lots of reds. Things are looking pretty good. All right, did you know that there were hidden summer dangers that you just probably didn't think about? Well, take a look at this. And that story is true. The slide thing, that can get real hot. You know, you've heard stories of people burning themselves on that hot plastic. So keep that in mind if you're going to the park today, because it is going to be so hot. In through Kitchener, 30 daytime high, and it's going to feel a lot warmer than that when you factor in the humidity. It is going to be hot and sticky no matter where you are. Toronto feeling like 36. It's going to feel like 32 up through Mount Forest. It's going to feel like 36 in Whitby. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're staying hydrated today. Cold front, that's what's bringing in those thunderstorms through Sault Ste. Marie, in through North Bay, all the way through Val-d'Or. For us, we're going to be staying dry for the next couple of days. We have got beautiful summertime conditions. Happy Monday. It is July the 9th, 6:06. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about our temperatures throughout the lower Great Lakes today. It is going to be another hot one. Currently, we're sitting at 18 degrees in Toronto, 16 up through Markham and in through Pearson, and Billy Bishop, 19 degrees. I will tell you how hot we are going to get right after this and what's trending online. All right, taking a look right across the country, we do have this cold front that has been moving through. This one is going to be giving us active weather to our north, but not to the south. It's really just going to fizzle out by the time it gets to us. Temperatures are sticky. We're looking at temperatures feeling like 36 through Toronto. It's going to feel like 35 in Barrie and feel like 35 through Newmarket. Gusty conditions as well, anywhere between kind of 30 to 40 kilometers an hour throughout the day today and throughout the day tomorrow. Now, if you're out in this sun, you certainly need to check the UV index. Take a look at this. Thanks so much for that, Rachel. It is going to be another hot one today. The UV index is going to be very strong, so make sure you are protecting yourself with sunscreen. Stay in the shade, take a break, go inside, hit up some air conditioning. We're going to see this cold front pass through, but really all it's going to do for us is bring us a tiny little bit of cloud cover, and that's it. We've got high pressure moving in right behind it, so the heat, the humidity, that is going to be building back in. It's going to feel like the upper 30s today when you factor in the humidity. So it is going to be another hot and sticky week through much of southern Ontario. This ridge across the west, it's going to be tracking east, keeping us hot. Stay with us. Your local forecast starts right now. It's Monday. It's July the 9th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. We've got limited active weather to tell you about throughout southern Ontario, which is great. If this is the week that you chose for vacation, well, you picked an amazing one. We do have this cold front that's been moving through the north, bringing in rain and thunderstorms, but to the south, it's just all about the heat and the humidity. It is going to be a hot work week. We are going to be seeing temperatures into the low 30s, but feeling more like the upper 30s when you factor in the humidity. Feeling closer to 36 through Toronto. It is going to feel like 31 through Huntsville. Barrie feeling like 35. Keep in mind, we do have fire ban restrictions throughout parts of Ontario. You can always go to the government website to check that out. This is mostly up towards Cottage Country. It's been so dry, lack of rain, and then lightning. Throw that all in. The heat, the humidity continues to the east, and I know you've probably thought about this at least once while you're driving. You're thinking, can I get a sunburn through the window? Well, we myth busted that for you. Check this out. Your Weather Watch continues on this Monday. It is July the 9th. I'm Emily Vukovic. We've got heat and humidity starting to build back in throughout southern Ontario and towards the east as well, and through parts of Quebec and the Maritime provinces. Nice ridge in the jet stream. That is going to be giving us heat for the remainder of the week. I'll show you some of the numbers in just a few moments, but first take a look at what's trending online. Thanks, Amanda. It's totally true. Or even walking through a swarm like that, ugh, when they get in your mouth, yucky. All right, the heat, the humidity, that's certainly going to be building throughout the day today and into the remainder of the week through much of southern Ontario. Lots of reds, lots of oranges, lots of yellows. Thank goodness, it's summer. We're feeling the heat. Okay, looking ahead for today, temperatures rising into the low 30s through many areas and feeling more like the mid to upper 30s when you factor in that humidity. For example, in Barrie, it's going to feel like 31. It's going to feel like 36 rather, and same thing for Toronto. It's going to feel like 36 with the temperature getting up to about 30. Whitby also feeling like 36, up through Belleville 33, and in through the Niagara region feeling more like 34 when you factor in the humidity. All right, have you ever seen one of these? Apparently they're becoming quite popular. If this is the week that you chose for vacation and you live in southern Ontario, you picked a good one because temperatures are going to be consistently warm all week long. It's going to feel like 36 this afternoon through Toronto. And this cold front, it is bringing in some isolated thunderstorms and some rain to areas further north. We do have a fire ban in many areas throughout southern Ontario as well. Keep that in mind if you are going to be going camping. Make sure you're checking up on the updates for that. All right, high pressure firmly in place for the remainder of the week. Look at tomorrow afternoon. Just absolutely stunning, 28 degrees through Toronto. That cold front will cool down our temperatures just a touch, but really not much at all. Your local details start right now. Your Weather Watch continues on this Monday. It's July the 9th. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is going to be another hot one today. I hope you had a glorious weekend. The weather was absolutely stunning. We saw temperatures get up into the high 20s, low 30s, and there wasn't a ton of humidity to talk about. Now we're starting the day off at 17 degrees downtown. We're looking at 19 at Billy Bishop, Pearson 15, Markham sitting at 17 degrees. We do have a big ridge in our jet stream. We're sitting under high pressure, and that cold front to our north, it's really not going to be doing anything for us except dropping our temperatures like 2 degrees. So really, it's not going to be a weather maker, but it is bringing in some isolated thunderstorms throughout northern Ontario. The risk of forest fires is also there. We do have a fire ban in place through many areas through cottage country. So if you're heading to your cottage, make sure you get an update on that. Throughout the afternoon, we're looking at 36. That's what it's going to feel like with the humidity. It is going to feel like 32 up through Mount Forest. It is going to feel like 35 in Barrie. Now, if you're heading to a beach, but you're just not sure which one you want to go to yet, check this out. Well, we are going to be seeing some fairly gusty conditions today, depending on where you are. We've got winds that are going to be gusting anywhere between kind of 30 to 40 kilometers an hour throughout southern Ontario today and into tomorrow. It's this cold front that's bringing in some gusty conditions. It's going to dip its way through southern Ontario, but see all that moisture? It really starts to fizzle. High pressure is going to be moving back in, and our winds are going to be shifting. So we're going from a southwesterly wind today to more of a northerly flow tomorrow, and that is where we're going to be seeing that cool down in temperatures. But tomorrow is alone. By Wednesday, Thursday, the heat, the humidity is going to be starting to build again. So really only one day of a bit of a cool down. But as you can see, not a lot of active weather moving through this week. We have got generally high pressure in the area, and that is going to be the trend. Take a look at this 7-day forecast. If this is your week for vacation, you certainly picked a good one. Your locals are starting right now. Welcome to Monday. It is July the 9th. I'm Emily Vukovic. You're watching the Weather Network, and it is going to be another beautiful day throughout much of the GTA. We do have a cold front that's going to be coming through. Really, all it's going to do is put a tiny little dent in our temperatures for tomorrow, but other than that, we are looking at an absolutely gorgeous week. We'll show you some of those numbers coming up, but first, here's what's trending online. Yeah, as soon as you get around a light, there's thousands of them. Yuck. All right, it is going to be hot. It is going to be humid throughout Ottawa, all the way down towards Windsor. Even into northern Ontario, the heat is firing up. We're looking at temperatures around 32 through Barrie today, feeling more like 35. Keep in mind, we do have fire bans throughout parts of southern Ontario up through cottage country. So if you are heading up to the cottage, you certainly might want to check ahead before you light that bonfire at nighttime. It is going to feel like 36 in Toronto, and it's going to be hot to the east as well. If you do have travel plans and you're off to Quebec this week, feeling like 36 through Quebec City, and same for Montreal. It is going to be hot. It is going to be sticky. All right, now these are becoming quite a thing. Dust devils at baseball games. Hopefully you're catching some of those this summer. We do have a cold front that's going to be moving in. This is actually going to do nothing for us, really. It's going to drop our temperatures by about 2 degrees by tomorrow, but really other than that, yeah, it's smooth sailing for us. We have got an absolutely gorgeous week ahead of us. High pressure is firmly in place. We do have a ridge across the prairie provinces. That's just going to continue to work its way east. So the heat and the humidity is really going to be building for us for the next week. As you can see throughout the day on Tuesday, high pressure in place. That's it. Temperatures, they're warm. A little cooler. We're in the 20s now, but still feeling like the low 30s when you factor in the humidity. Newmarket going to feel like 32 tomorrow. It's going to feel like 31 in Guelph, and as we get into Wednesday, still touch cooler, but still just incredible. We're looking at 27, feeling like 29. We have a ton of sunshine right across the map. Warm back up for Thursday, 29, feeling like 32. It's going to feel like 31 in Barrie. So this is just an incredible week for the city of Toronto weather-wise. If you took your vacation this week, wow, I'm jealous. You've got a great week ahead of you. Don't go anywhere. Your local forecast details that includes your 14-day trend, that's coming up right now. Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Shannon, as well as Amanda and Emily joining you. We're talking about the heat, the humidity. Do we love it? Do we not love it? What do we do when the severe heat finally breaks, ladies?
I mean, I guess it depends on how significantly it breaks. If we're talking like a drastic cool down, I'm going to have to say I do miss it. But if it's, a little bit less humid, still hot, I don't miss it.
What about you, Amanda?
I would say I'm going to definitely miss it, and Emily, I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, really?
You're going to miss it.
I know, it's no shocker that I'm going to definitely miss the heat. But that doesn't mean we have it coming our way. I mean, across the Prairie provinces, it has been warm. We've got heat continuing throughout Ontario and into the Maritimes. It is hot as well.
It certainly is. It is extremely hot, and we have there's extreme heat warnings for many areas across the country.
Okay, speaking of heat, is it hot enough to bake something in your vehicle? Nate Coleman decided that he would give it a try.
Yeah, this is a really interesting story.
Are we running it?
Oh,
We're not running the story.
We do have that story coming up a little bit more throughout the hour, so we'll definitely show you that story if you haven't seen it already.
Okay,
it is absolutely hilarious.
I think we should just give it away because we just threw to a story that's not existing. He actually bakes a pizza in his car in Halifax. The heat, the humidity was so bad out west. What would you cook if you could cook something in your car?
Okay, I was thinking maybe some chicken fried rice because you could watch it sizzle, or some brownies.
Right.
But Shannon was very much staying away from the whole meat situation.
Yeah, I would have to say, if you're cooking something in your car that has like dairy or meat, that just kind of like freaks me right out. Like, that doesn't seem healthy at all. So I'm gonna have to go with like pasta or like Eggos or something. Like
Eggos.
See if you get a little toasted edge on that.
Yeah,
Right.
anything you'd put in an easy bake, maybe.
I did cookies one year. I did cookies. Chris Murphy tried to fry an egg here a couple of years ago, right on the asphalt. I think it works. I do. I think it was hot enough, and maybe he threw in some bacon there. I don't know. Anyways.
Hopefully didn't eat it.
Yeah, so we want to know, send us a tweet. We would love to hear from you. What would you bake in your car on a hot day? Next thing is we're talking about hurricane and baby names, because now Chris has turned into a hurricane, as most people know. And this is a really interesting tweet from 2000 to 2005. About 7,400 baby girl Katrinas were named by parents, but only 2,700
That's a huge
in
drop.
the 6 years after the hurricane. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, it's holds such a strong feeling for people when it's a deadly hurricane like Katrina. So I would have to say, yeah, I wouldn't name a child after something. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if it really directly impacted you, definitely not. If it didn't have an impact
Like a miracle
on you,
baby.
maybe. Yeah.
Or like, what if you already had that name? Like, I know there's been a Hurricane Emily before.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
I think I'm just going to name my baby Hurricane.
Just
Just
save all
broad
the
spectrum
hassle.
of things. But these are the names that are coming up next. We're looking at Chris already. Debbie, next up, Ernesto, and then they continue to follow.
I don't know about the name Ernesto for a baby or Florence. They're kind of old school, I think. So I don't know if there's a lot of Ernestos coming our way in terms of babies.
Maybe not.
Right?
Maybe not. Let us know though if you would do that or not. We've got a couple things that we're asking our audience, so definitely let us know.
Good morning. It's Monday. It is July the 9th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. Another hot and sticky day today throughout the lower Great Lakes. We've got a big ridge in the jet stream building right across the prairies. That's going to be our story later on this week. Our temperatures, I'll show you those numbers in just a few moments, but first, here's what's trending online. Thanks so much for that, Amanda. Looking at the national temperature pattern, you can actually see how warm it is going to get. The hotter it is, the redder the hues. We're seeing a lot of orange, a lot of yellows. That's good news if you like the heat and humidity. A look ahead for today, temperatures rising into the high 20s, getting into the low 30s, but feeling more like the mid to upper 30s when you factor in the humidity. Barrie, our daytime high, 32 degrees. It's going to get up to 30 through Hamilton and 31 in Toronto, but look at those humidex values. We're looking at feeling like 36 through Whitby. It's going to feel like 32 through Mount Forest and feel like 35 in Barrie. Now, maybe you've seen something like this. This is a dust devil so far this summer. We've got a cold front that's going to be coming through, doing absolutely nothing for us, to northern Ontario, bringing some isolated thunderstorms. Really, the only thing that it's going to do to us is drop our temperatures by a couple of degrees. Really, not much. High pressure moving in behind it. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow, but here's that cool down. We're looking at 28. It's still going to feel like the low 30s, though. Barrie getting up to 26, and through Newmarket seeing a daytime high of 28. So it's still going to be hot, just not as hot. High pressure continuing to dominate for the majority of the week. We do have another system to the north that could bring us a little bit more cloud cover, but again, not a lot of active weather. We're looking at 28 degrees tomorrow, Windsor 29, up through Kingston 26, and if you're traveling up towards the nation's capital, seeing a daytime high of 27. Don't go anywhere. Your local forecast details, they start right now. Your Weather Watch continues on this Monday. It is July the 9th. I'm Emily Vukovic, and we are starting off warm today. 18 degrees through the city of Toronto. We're looking at 18 in Pearson, down through Billy Bishop at 19. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky. That heat and humidity, that is starting to build back in. We've got this big ridge across the Prairie provinces in the jet stream, and that is going to continue to push its way east. We have high pressure really dominating for us over the next couple of days. The only thing we're looking at is that cold front that's swiping through northern Ontario, bringing in some isolated thunderstorms. The risk is high for forest fires because of the dry conditions. We haven't seen a lot of rain throughout northern Ontario. Throw in a little bit of lightning, and that is where we actually do have a fire ban. So if you're going camping, if you're going up to cottage country, make sure you check ahead to see if you can light a fire tonight or during the week because of those dry conditions. Now it's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky. Barrie getting up to 32, feeling like 35. We're going to feel like 36 for the city of Toronto, and it's going to feel like 36 in Whitby. Might be a great time to head to the beach. Do you know where you're going yet, though? We'll take a look at these top 5 beach downs. Agreed. Beautiful sunsets at Sauble Beach. All right, we do have our winds increasing. We're going to be seeing wind gusts anywhere kind of between 20 to 30, even 40 kilometers an hour throughout southern Ontario today and into tomorrow. We're going to see a shift in our winds. Today we've got a southerly wind. Once that cold front comes through tonight and into tomorrow, our winds are going to shift to more of a northerly direction. So our temperatures will drop, but literally just a smidge. We're talking like 2 degrees. It's still going to be hot. High pressure in place, which means we are going to be seeing lots of sunshine for the next couple of days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're looking pretty good. We are going to be kind of moving into that ridge come Wednesday, so our heat is going to build back again. We're going to have all those details for you right now in your local forecast. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic, and it is Monday. It is July the 9th, and it is going to be another hot one today throughout southern Ontario, throughout the GTA over the weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. It was absolutely stunning. Today, temperatures are going to be very warm. We're seeing this nice ridge in the jet stream. This is going to be giving us a nice warm feeling for the next couple of days. This is actually setting us up for a really great week. But really, other than that, we are looking at an amazing forecast this week. So if you chose this week for vacation, you picked a good one. All right, I'm going to be talking to Andrea Bagley coming up about what's trending in just a moment. But first, here's a look. All right, Andrea Bagley joining me now. And Andrea, we've got so many good stories online. What do you have for us?
So our leading one, you know, this is an international story that's been happening over the last we've been watching, literally unfold, is the Thailand rescue, the cave rescue of the boys. These boys can't swim either. They're weak swimmers. So it's a scary scene, but you know, kind of a lighthearted part of it is that the president for FIFA has reached out and said if these boys, you know, make it out on time, that they're all invited to the final, the cup.
For the World Cup?
For the World Cup.
Oh,
the finals on Sunday, in Moscow. So pretty cool, if they get out on time, which is amazing.
All right, next story that we have trending.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one, and it's actually
warn them not to park in that field.
That's true.
All right, all these stories you can catch online at theweathernetwork.com. Your locals start right now.
Call or click
Hi
before
there,
you
thanks
dig.
for joining us. Emily, Shannon, and Amanda with you. We've been talking about the extreme heat towards eastern Canada. This weekend we got a bit of a break.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a break.
Touch, right? Sunday was still pretty hot, but we're asking you if, when severe heat finally breaks, will you miss it? I'm a hard yes. Obviously.
I checked in on Twitter, Emily, and a lot of people were saying no.
I
so
know.
You've got to balance it out by
It's like
voting.
the 75, 25%. I think I'm the 25%. I'm not
think
digging.
I think I'd be
You know,
in the yes.
usually when there's these yes and nos, I kind of find my way in between the both of them.
Okay.
I'm the one that replies with an explanation.
Okay.
Rather than voting.
Okay, good to know. You're on the fence. Okay, so we had a story last week, and it's online. You can check it out. It is Nathan Coleman, and he's actually cooking a pizza in a hot car.
Funniest story.
It is so funny, and you know Nathan Coleman, like he's just got such a great personality, and he does it so well. Now, if you could make a dish in your car on a hot day, what would it be, Amanda?
Okay, I was thinking earlier chicken fried rice because I feel
That
like
is
it would
so
just be,
random.
I feel like
actually
it'd be
feel sick.
sizzling.
What would you cook it
could, you know, just flip it around.
But do
or,
you want to be in the car while you're cooking it?
oh, that's so true. Brownies.
Right?
I'm gonna go easy bake.
Yeah, like
I'm
you gotta go
Eggos.
oven.
Eggos are pasta.
Eggos, good call. Pasta, again, you'd have to be in the car, because how are you going to boil it? Oh, I guess you just leave the pot of water in there. That could get messy pretty
still there.
quick.
Just seems weird.
I baked cookies once, and Chris Murphy actually tried to fry an egg on the sidewalk here at one point. And I think someone else that worked here put a $20 bill on their dash to see if it would melt, like the new ones, because they're plastic. It didn't work. Oh, gosh.
Oh, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
There you go.
No.
That's the same thing.
All right, we're talking about hurricanes and baby names. I know, the two are kind of related. Take a look at this tweet from Ryan. From 2000 to 2005 in the USA, about 7,400 baby girl Katrinas were named by parents. Now, only 2,700 in the 6 years after the hurricane, down to 193. 193, that's
Wow.
it,
And it
in
wasn't just-
2017.
It wasn't just Katrina either. This happened too with other storms as well, like Sandy, for instance, drastically dropped from I think 700 to below 100 names. So really interesting.
Would you ever avoid using a name for your child if it was already used for a deadly storm?
No, and I was saying earlier I would just name my child Hurricane. That's cool. Hurricane Weldon coming on through.
That would actually be
Right?
good.
Very
You'd be
unique.
right up there with like all the other weird celebrity baby names.
Celebrity in the
Right?
making.
Like
Let's show you the
Apple.
next. Let's show you the next names. And we are so covered at the Weather Network with the next one on the docket, which is Chris. We got Chris Sinclair. We got Chris Murphy.
we
we
really
got
do.
Chris May.
All of the men that work here are actually named Chris.
There you go. And
actually true.
then Debbie, then Ernesto, and Florence, and the list goes on.
See, I'm thinking like Florence and Gordon. They're kind of out for baby names.
Well, you never know. If you
That's
are
true.
picking that name, don't listen to Emily.
Yeah,
She's gorgeous.
sorry. Okay, big news, obviously, out of Thailand. Hey, and if you want to contact us, you could do so on Twitter. We are here at the Weather Network. Your Weather Watch continues on this Monday. It is July the 9th. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Throughout southern Ontario, we had incredible weather. Temperatures were exactly where they should be, even a little bit warmer, but the humidity gave us a bit of a break. Now, we've got heat and humidity rising again today. We are protected by high pressure throughout southern Ontario, northern Ontario, seeing some isolated thunderstorms. I'll give you the numbers on how hot we're going to get in just a few moments, but first, here's what's trending online. Very true. Thanks so much, Amanda. All right, the national temperature pattern is showing a lot of reds, a lot of oranges, a lot of yellows. That is a lot of good news if you like the heat. A lot of areas across the country not dealing with any kind of active weather. We do have those thunderstorms throughout northern Ontario, but that cold front, it's not really going to do anything for us to the south. Toronto starting off at about 27, and then we're going to rise to about 32. It's going to feel closer to 36. And through Oshawa, it's going to feel like 36. Daytime high getting close to 30. So pretty much right across the board, temperatures into the low 30s, feeling more like the mid to upper 30s when you factor in that humidity. So keep that in mind today. Keep yourself hydrated. Go to someone that has air conditioning if you do not, because it is going to be hot today. It's not as hot as we have been, but still very warm. Cold front moving through, bringing in isolated thunderstorms, Sault Ste. Marie over towards North Bay and in through parts of southern Quebec. But for us, really just a little bit of cloud cover through the overnight. It is not going to be bringing any active weather. The only thing it is going to do is drop our temperatures by a couple of degrees. So we're looking at a daytime high tomorrow in Toronto of 28. Have you ever seen anything like this? This is a dust bay. Oh, just stunning, isn't it? Lake Huron. It must be Monday or something. All right, high pressure in place throughout the day tomorrow. We are going to be seeing more sunshine and more warmth. We've got more details coming up right now in your local forecast. It's Monday. Your Weather Watch continues here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. We're talking about the heat and the humidity starting to build back in throughout the lower Great Lakes. If you love the heat, well, you probably had an amazing weekend. It was hot, but it wasn't really sticky. It was gorgeous. We had lots of sunshine. Temperatures started to rise yesterday. The heat and humidity values, they also started to rise, and that's going to be the trend for today. I'm going to show you a couple of numbers in just a few moments, but first, let's take a look at this jet stream. We've got a big ridge over the west. We've got a dip throughout the east. We're still below the dip, as you can see, so we're still feeling a lot of heat from the south, but this ridge is eventually going to make its way east, and we're going to feel the heat. So the heat, the humidity building today, 30 in Whitby, feeling like 36. Hamilton's going to feel like 37. Up through Barrie, we're going to feel closer to 35. So again, incredibly sticky, incredibly warm, and fairly windy. Our wind gusts are going to be up to anywhere between 30 to 40 kilometers an hour throughout southern Ontario today and into tomorrow. Today and tomorrow, hey, they'd be great days to go to the beach. Take a look at our top 5. Sauble Beach is beautiful. If you have never been, I highly recommend it. All right, we do have a cold front that's going to be passing through southern Ontario, but really, it's not going to do anything. Bringing some thunderstorms and some rain through northern areas and through cottage country. Also, keep in mind that they do have a fire ban in place through many areas. So if you're going camping, if you're heading up to the cottage this week or this weekend, you certainly want to check where those bans are located. You can check it out on the Government of Canada website. They have all the areas listed where the fire risk is at its highest, where it's low. And the reason why we have it in northern Ontario and in through cottage country is because it has just been so dry. We haven't seen a lot of rain. And then when you throw in a cold front with some thunderstorms, you get a little bit of lightning, possibly some dry lightning. That's where the danger could come in. High pressure still dominating for the majority of the week. We are going to be seeing our temperatures stay pretty consistently warm all week long. Details coming up now in your locals. It's Monday. It's July the 9th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. We've got limited active weather to tell you about throughout southern Ontario, which is great. If this is the week that you chose for vacation, well, you picked an amazing one. We do have this cold front that's been moving through the north, bringing in rain and thunderstorms, but to the south, it's just all about the heat and the humidity. It is going to be a hot work week. We are going to be seeing temperatures into the low 30s, but feeling more like the upper 30s when you factor in the humidity. Feeling closer to 36 through Toronto. It is going to feel like 31 through Huntsville. Barrie feeling like 35. Keep in mind, we do have fire ban restrictions throughout parts of Ontario. You can always go to the government website to check that out. This is mostly up towards cottage country. It's been so dry, lack of rain, and then lightning. Throw that all in. The heat, the humidity continues to the east, and I know you've probably thought about this at least once while you're driving. You're thinking, can I get a sunburn through the window? Well, we myth busted that for you. Check this out. Throughout the east, we're still below the dip, as you can see. So we're still feeling a lot of heat from the south, but this ridge is eventually going to make its way east, and we're going to feel the heat. So the heat, the humidity building today, 30 in Whitby, feeling like 36. Hamilton's going to feel like 37. Up through Barrie, we're going to feel closer to 35. So again, incredibly sticky, incredibly warm, and fairly windy. And it is Monday. It is July the 9th, and it is going to be another hot one today throughout southern Ontario. Sauble Beach is beautiful. If you have never been, I highly recommend it. All right, we do have a cold front that's going to be passing through southern Ontario, but really, it's not going to do anything. Bringing some thunderstorms and some rain through northern areas and through cottage country. Also, keep in mind that they do have a fire ban in place through many areas. So if you're going camping, if you're heading up to the cottage this week or this weekend, you certainly want to check where those bans are located. You can check it out on the Government of Canada website. They have all the areas listed where the fire risk is at its highest, where it's low. And the reason why we have it in northern Ontario and in through cottage country is because it has just been so dry. We haven't seen a lot of rain. And then when you throw in a cold front with some thunderstorms, you get a little bit of lightning, possibly some dry lightning. That's where the danger could come in. High pressure still dominating for the majority of the week. We are going to be seeing our temperatures stay pretty consistently warm all week long. Details coming up now in your local.